Start button. Thank you again, faculty and aspiring faculty, for being with me again today. I do hope you all had a good weekend, and I did. So you're welcome. Last week we discussed being present. The week before we discussed faculty effectiveness. So we are still moving on that trend. Again, my name is Dr. Ifeoma Anna, and I'm happy to be with you today to discuss a topic that I call leadership modeling through teaching. Leadership modeling through teaching. So sometimes people say leaders are born and not made. It's left for you or each and every one of us, because if we begin to argue it, we argue it to the end of 2022 and we may never come to a particular decision. But yes, some attributes of leadership could be passed from generation to generation, but most times, in my view, it is something that you learn and practice. So, but that's not important whether they are born or made. The important thing for us here is, what is leadership really? And I want to take Nordhaus 2019 definition about leadership. Nordhaus defines leadership as a process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. So there are three elements in this definition: an individual. Leadership is actually individualistic, not a group or something. Okay, so it is individualistic, and you must have to cultivate and learn and expound on your leadership. What kind of a leader are you? So the second element there is influence. A leader who cannot influence people cannot say that he's a leader. Yes, they put you in the position maybe of CEO of a company, or the faculty or course leader or class leader, and you are not able to perform. You can't put anything in control. So you are not influencing anybody. It's not a question of control per se, but influence. By your life, by your action, by what you're doing, are people being influenced positively? Now in the university, we are talking about positive influence. We know that in the world, there are a lot of negative influences, but that's not our option or in the universities. As a faculty member, you should be able to influence your students, influence your colleagues, and to some extent, even the university, to something positive that will make you stand out among other faculty members. And finally, that from that definition, we saw that the important thing is to achieve a common goal. Now, students come into the university with a goal, or two goals. First is to graduate, and the second one is to be important in the society. Now, if you are leading and your students cannot graduate well, I mean, really graduate with high colors, flying colors, and they cannot find a place in the university, in the society after they leave, then you have not led well. So you must be sure that you are leading in such a way to influence these students and the university and your colleagues to achieve a common goal. The university has the goal of ensuring that quality students pass through there. You know, there are some people who pass through the universities and the university never passes through them. You don't want to create a pool of people who pass through your university that you ask them, they come out to the society, they can't speak, they don't understand even anything about the course that they have studied. Then both the faculty must have failed, and that made the university to fail. So for university to be a leader, university leadership is predicated on faculty leadership. The university cannot, it only sets up a standard. It sets up the structure by which teaching takes place. And the faculty is the leg and the arm and the eye of the university to ensure that the university retains a good leadership in the industry. So that is why you see that certain universities are high flyers and others, their names are not even known. So how would you, as a student, as a faculty, ensure that the university is among the top? and they are doing well, it is predicated on the faculties to be able to do that. But the question now is, how can faculty members show leadership traits? How can they achieve this goal of ensuring that the university is standing? One is doing things in the best possible way. So you don't just come and do things, well, let my people go, we just do it and we pass and that's it. So you have to do it in the best possible way. The matter of TQM is doing the right thing the first time and getting it right. So you should be able to work on that principle of doing the right thing the best possible way. You teach that means teaching in the best possible way, interacting with your colleagues and the students in the best possible way, encouraging your colleagues as well, and making a mark in the university where you are. Speaking to students in the best possible way. There's some faculty members that just, because they look down on the students, they talk to them anyhow, they behave with them anyhow. They just look down on the students. And you don't know that these students you're looking down on could become somebody much higher tomorrow. And you don't know, the world turns around. So you have to speak with and not to. Most times, faculty members just think that they should speak to. They should speak to the people that there's maybe students or other colleagues. But you are not listening to them until you begin to listen to them and reason with them and see their viewpoints too. Then you are not, all you are doing is speaking to them. But the university and common sense requires that you should speak with the people. When you speak with the people, you are able to learn even earlier in the previous programs, I did mention that it's important for faculty to be humble enough to learn, because every day a faculty member is just a lifetime learner. And there's no way you can learn until you begin to talk with people instead of talking to them. So that brings me to barriers to effective or authentic leadership, because really faculty members should be authentic. In other words, when you say something, they should be able to understand you, that you have their best interest. That's the students. Even the university knows that you have its best interest in heart. And that is how you are doing the work that you are doing to influence, because again, I have to emphasize that it's positive influence that we are working on. So these barriers to effective teaching and effective leadership, because you as a faculty member is actually a leader of a sort. The important thing is, what type of a leader are you? Are you a destructive leader, or are you a leader with influence, an authentic leader? So you have to define, and the way that you define it, the way you want to be will determine for you how you take it. So but what are these barriers that make us sometimes not to be effective, not to be good role models in the work we are doing? We are not effective leaders. So one is when emotion overtakes us. There is an emotional overtake. And so we come into the work that we are doing with so much emotion, self, the other people, what am I doing it? Maybe how much am I being paid that I should do all this work? And in the end, what is the thing that I'm going to get from this university? The university authority do not care much about the faculty members. So why should my own case be different? So because of this emotional overtake, you are overtaken by the emotion, you do things that are not necessary for a good role model to do. And so you go into outbursts. You want to talk to your colleagues, it's outbursts. You talk to the university administrators, it's outbursts. You talk to the university authorities, it's outbursts. Sometimes some people even just throw in the towel and only to go back and lick their wounds. So you don't want to do that as a faculty member. You want to be steadfast and always take it into consideration what you are doing. Ensure that you are doing it well. The fact is, if you cannot do it well, don't be there. You don't need to be there. Go and get several, 1,000,001 things that you can do. But if you have decided to be a teacher in the university, a faculty, or a teacher anywhere, you have to come there with all your heart. The Bible says somewhere that anything you do, do it with all your heart, a workman that needs no condemnation. So you don't have to allow emotional outbursts to ruin the good work you want to do. Secondly, a lot of people faculty members are just embedded in pride. They are thinking that they are better than the students, they are better than other colleagues, they are better even than the university, that they are doing a favor to the university being there. And so because of that, you find that they're having a barrier already to role modeling and effective leadership. So for you not to do that, you have to humble yourself. You have to bring yourself to that level where you are a learner, where you can influence people. If you cannot influence people, because people always see the pride in anybody. When you are in a position of leadership and pride is what is directing you, the people we see it, and you know what? There is an apathy to that kind of attitude. And so you don't want it to be a pride, to be a barrier to your leadership. So again, the third aspect, because there are several, but I just decided to do these three. The third aspect is not taking a mastery of your subject. The subject matter that you are discussing, the subject matter you are teaching, the topic you are teaching, you don't have a mastery of it. Maybe because of laziness, or maybe because you feel, I know it all, I've been teaching it for years. You don't know that there are even developments and elevation in the area that you're teaching. But you as a good faculty, a faculty that is a role model, will be able to study. You also burn the midnight candle just as the students are burning it. So that no matter the angle they are coming from, at least, even if you don't have a mastery of it, at least you should be able to make some input into it. So these three barriers should not make us to lose the focus of being role models in the job that we are given. Again, I just want to discuss the call to higher education teachers, the faculty members. I want to make some calls to you to be able that we make you to be good role models and effective leaders in your university and anywhere you find yourself. One is to remind yourself of the best possible ways, which I earlier discussed, the best possible ways of doing things, best possible way of relating with people and teaching and all that, you know. So the second is to remember that you are a role model. Every faculty must always remember that you are modeling somebody, especially the students. What do the students get out of you? The way you teach them, the way you relate with them, we even make some of them decide, you know what? When I am out of school, I'm going to be a faculty member. And that drives the level of education they can get. You know, I remember that two faculty members influenced my wanting to teach. You know, whenever they come to class, even from the high school, I remember my teacher, when math teacher, he's teaching, he's solving some problems on the board. And when he gets stuck, he turns around, he says, Ifeoma, where are we? Because he knew that I will be there. And that challenge made me to love mathematics. And so it's just like modeling me that if you listen, you can do it and you can be a leader in this area. Unfortunately, that has gone by because a lot of things have overtaken it. I wish I could be as good in mathematics again so that I can begin to be a faculty in mathematics. And so you need to remember that you're a role model always and be positively influenced, okay, by the university. If you cannot be influenced, they say that good leaders, we are good followers sometimes. If you are not positively influenced by the university authority, how do you expect to be a good role model? The university models every faculty. you must allow yourself to be modeled by somebody so that you will be a good role model to others. Finally, in this call is that you should be an influence to your other colleagues. How do you relate with your other colleagues? Do they have the freedom to come to you when they have problems, and be sure that you can model them? No matter how good you are, you should be able to influence other people. Do not snub other colleagues. Do not talk to them harshly. Do not think you are better than they are. You must have that humble spirit to relate with your colleagues, because when you are relating with them, you are also making success and learning something. So in summary, in this discussion today, I want to just say that the university has a way of secretly and without your knowledge observing every faculty member. And they observe your leadership effectiveness. They observe your leadership role. They observe how you model the students to be good students and good citizens of the society after they are done from the university. They see. So do not assume that they do not see. And so you must be able to do that which is right, so that you have a good followership, people you will influence to become faculty members in the future. And even if they are not faculty members, you will influence them to be good role models in any area of life they find themselves. Again, I want to thank you for being part of this, and expect another diet next week. Thank you and have a blessed week. Bye-bye.